I hope this podcast can inspire you to always dream big and make it your reality. I am your host, Jess Williamson, a serial entrepreneur and business coach. And today I have a very special guest, my amazing client, Isabella, all the way from Michigan in the USA. And she is the founder of beautiful, sustainable activewear brand, Buespark. And we are going to be chatting today about her journey over the past 12 months working with me as her coach, but also the lead up to that and where she was really stressed and full of anxiety to now being super confident in her own abilities, knowing that anything truly is possible and selling out of her sustainable activewear lines since she launched them. So it's been an incredible journey. Isabella has so much to share and so much wisdom. So I hope you enjoyed this episode as much as I do. Let's get started. Hey, Isabella, I am super excited to have you on this episode of Couch Chats.
Hi, Jess. I'm super excited to be here. Thanks for having me.
And you're joining me all the way from Michigan, which is pretty awesome. So everyone has just heard that we've been on a bit of a journey over the past 12 months of working together. And I wanted to get you on to share a little bit of your journey and your story to get here, because now you have an incredible activewear line. You are listed on some incredible wholesale sites and you've hit some really, really amazing goals personally as well. So let's share your story, where it all started, what made you start this business, and take us through it.
Yeah, it's been quite a journey the past 12 months for sure. I guess to go back to where it started, I am from Brazil originally, if you notice my accent, and I moved to the US to go to college and got a degree in civil engineering. And then after that, got a job, and I actually worked in corporate for about 5, 6 years before starting this business. And I just followed the path, I guess, that others thought was successful. And I just achieved all these milestones. I got a great job. I was making a 6-figure salary and working for one of the top consulting firms in the US. And I guess I achieved all the milestones, but at the end of the day, I had never been more stressed and more anxious than I was at that time. And I still felt kind of empty inside, like I wasn't living on my purpose. So I just decided I needed a change and decided to take yoga teacher training.
It's like the complete opposite to being an engineer, right? So that is awesome that you possibly followed that path because that's what you thought success looked like, but you found a passion in yoga and meditation, which has sort of been a huge part of your journey in your business, Buespark, today. So what happened then?
Yes, huge. So not that I just wanted to be a yoga teacher, I personally took it a little more for selfish reasons. I just needed a change in my own personal journey, and it sounded like a good change, something I was passionate about. So I just went for it. And then over the next 12 weeks, I got immersed into not only learning the postures of yoga, but also learning the whole mindfulness aspect of it. It involved a lot of journaling, a lot of meditation, a lot of self-discovery, which I felt like I was missing in my life until then. I feel like I had gotten to that point in my career because I never really asked myself the right questions of what I really wanted, who I really was. So those 12 weeks of yoga immersion were really a chance to get to know myself and figure out what I really wanted. And the journey has been so transformational with learning all these mindfulness tools. And that's what inspired me to want to share it with the world and start Buespark, my sustainable activewear line. So, yeah.
Incredible. Such an amazing pivot and journey. And life would have looked very, very different if you never took that leap or even just entertained the idea of something else being out there for you. And then through that, you discovered the self-development and the self-work and the inner work, which has been so powerful. And you share a lot of amazing tips on mindfulness and things like that on your Instagram, Buespark, as well. So people can definitely check that out and get some inspiration there, as well as see your beautiful designs. And so when we met over, I think it's been over 12 months now, when we met, at the time you were creating more so t-shirts and loungewear in a bit more of like a drop shipping business model. And obviously the business looks quite different today in terms of your product range and, the business model and things like that. So talk people through a little bit around what your business looked like 12 months ago.
Yeah, so I guess the reason why I decided to start a brand in e-commerce is because first off, I wanted to be mobile and be able to travel and visit my family in Brazil as I wanted and just be location independent. So e-commerce made sense. And also, I'm a very visual person. So through that self-discovery, I discovered that I like to be creative. I like to create beautiful things and also join that with the mission to inspire mindful living. So yeah, we started out, as you said, as a more of a t-shirt slash loungewear brand. And once we met, I guess you're the one who introduced the idea of sustainable active wear, which goes perfectly now with the whole mission of the brand being a yoga inspired brand. So yeah, I guess it was just a limiting belief that I didn't think I was capable of creating such a complex product from scratch. I didn't know anything about the manufacturing process, importing products from overseas. So many things I didn't know until I met you. So you definitely helped me step on to the next level of building a product from scratch and a sustainable product, which is so exciting. It's something I'm so proud about now.
Amazing. And you've done such an incredible job to get it there. And you just touched on some limiting beliefs there. And I know that when we first met, you were also a little bit hesitant to pull the trigger and join up with my coaching program. And you actually initially said no. And then you went away and
Yes,
came back.
that's
So
crazy.
there was, and you've mentioned before to me, that was probably more of a limiting belief around maybe money and things like that. So maybe could you share a few limiting beliefs that you had that you have now worked through a little bit? Because I think there's a lot of people out there that have a dream and have a vision, but they don't quite know it's possible for them. So I think everyone can really gain a lot of inspiration from what you've overcome to get to where you are, and that it wasn't just do this, do that, and you'll have an active wear line. You had a lot of mindset along the way, which everyone does.
Yeah, definitely. Mindset was a huge block for me. And it's something I have to work on every single day. And thankfully, it's come such a long way, especially with your help. But I guess the main limiting belief was not thinking certain things were possible for me and not really knowing how to get to my goals. So I guess the fact that I didn't know it was possible for me didn't even allow me to try to build a product from scratch. And then, yeah, I guess besides that, the overwhelm of trying to do everything on my own, trying to wear all these hats as a business owner, it can get so overwhelming. And just having some guidance of a one-on-one coach like you has helped tremendously with the amount of overwhelm with picking the right direction and actioning on the steps that mean the most for what I'm trying to do, that move the needle the most. So it's been huge.
Absolutely. And what do you feel like has been the biggest shift or biggest realization to now be able to think, I can do this. I can do whatever I set out to achieve? Because you mentioned that you didn't even know it was a possibility to start with, to possibly design and manufacture and create your own activewear. So, what was the biggest shift around that in now realizing that I can do it? Was it the moment when you did it and you're like, wow, I actually did this? Or was it a shift before that?
Well, I guess there's a lot of like shifts, I guess. It's hard to describe it as one, but one of the main things that I realize, and I've been learning through mindfulness a lot, is that you are not your thoughts. So a lot of the times we tend to believe that what we tell ourselves in our heads is the absolute truth. And when you learn to separate from your thoughts, you learn that you are not the thoughts, you are the consciousness observing your thoughts. And then once you become so self aware that you notice what you're telling yourself, I guess you're able to either one, accept those beliefs, or two, you can challenge those beliefs, and just like replace them with a more positive narrative. So mindfulness has been huge. And I guess also you showing me what's possible, showing me what you have done and your whole process of like how you did what you did. I guess a combination of both has been huge. And then working on my mindset every single day has also been so key. When I wake up now, the first thing I do is work on my mindset. And it just takes everyday work. It's not something you do once and then you're good. It's something that requires everyday work. So that's one thing I've been working on.
I know, I think that is so, so valuable. Some key takeaways that people can really start to implement into their lives today and be inspired by your journey and your path as well. So, you've obviously come a long way in 12 months, and you've recently launched your two very own activewear collections and sold out of pretty much the first one already, and almost possibly sold out of your second collection. So, it's incredible the wins that you've had. But as entrepreneurs, we know that it's not always smooth sailing and it's not always just on the up, right? It's a bit of a roller coaster. So, what were some of the biggest challenges that you found, over the past year in pivoting your entire business model and learning new skills and doing new things?
I guess one of the biggest challenges was creating a product from scratch and having to take bigger risks, buying large amounts of stock. I guess that required a lot of confidence that I didn't necessarily have before, to invest in something so risky that I didn't know was going to turn out well. But definitely having you along for the ride, coaching me one-on-one, has given me the confidence to know what the next step is and just take it one step at a time. And then when I look back, I see that I've accomplished these two huge goals, which is create two brand new collections. And it's been so big now that I look at it, but with you along for the ride, it just seemed like taking one step at a time, doing one thing at a time, and it seemed natural. So, yeah.
Obviously, manufacturing, you mentioned there, it is a big risk. You've got to commit to larger quantities. There's obviously money and costs involved. What were your concerns, I guess, before that? Because I know that you felt a little bit stuck in the past. And so, what were your concerns around taking that leap?
I guess the confidence that I didn't have, as I mentioned, like I wasn't really sure if this business was going to really be a thing. I guess when you start sometimes a business, I guess a lot of people are just like, oh, let me try this out and see how it goes, right? Which is, by the way, not the right mindset, as you mentioned before, because if you take it as just a try, it's a little riskier. You might not even make it because you're just trying it as a hobby. So I guess the fear of going all in and the confidence that I was able to pull this off.
Yeah. And that can be the scariest part. And I do always say, let's not practice. If we're going to do it, let's do it right. And, we worked through some ways. We didn't go and commit to like hundreds of thousands of dollars. And we used some good negotiation and we reduced the risks and all of that as much as possible, but we still went all in. And so, what would you say to someone that is possibly sitting on that edge thinking, oh, should I go all in on my goals and dreams, or should I just play it small for now and see if it works out?
So, what I would say is, I think you should definitely go all in. However, make sure you have the right help to support you, to make sure you're going all in in the right direction. And I know there's a lot of uncertainties. It's impossible to always know if you're doing the right thing, but when you have the right support, it gives you so much more confidence and it makes it so much more doable to take it one step at a time and just have the confidence that you're supported.
100%. Because it comes back down to that mindset of if you believe it's going to be a success, you'll take actions that create that success. So by you going all in, you committed to this amount of stock and now you've pretty much sold it out because you committed to it. You had to then take actions to sell it and it's just kind of a ripple effect and now you've just created your second line and it's super super exciting and you've planned out a few more for the coming year which is so exciting. So now that we've chatted a little bit about the challenges, what would you say is some of your proudest moments or biggest wins over the past year?
One, when I held the products I created from scratch for the first time. My husband even recorded a video of my reaction and it was priceless. I was like, oh my gosh, I made this from scratch. I designed every single measurement, everything from scratch. I'm so proud. I was so proud to see such a high quality, sustainable product that I created from scratch. And for pushing through all those moments when I didn't think it was possible, when I didn't think it was available to me. And also the mindset shifts. I feel like I'm a different person now since ever since I started the business and I started coaching with you. Like my mindset is just different on a daily basis. I just wake up excited to work and confident that I'm able to take any actions I need to take to make it happen versus before I used to wake up full of self-doubt, full of negativity, and it just wasn't a good place to be. So I guess my mental health and my mindset has come such a long way. I'm really proud of that too.
Yeah. And sometimes that's one that people overlook. You know, people are always focused on money or tangible things. And sometimes we overlook the most important resource that we have, which is ourselves and our brains. And I think that's really, really incredible that you have such a positive outlook. And that's something that money can't buy, right?
100%.
What I would love to finish up with is do you have a last piece of advice for anyone out there with a goal, with a dream, who needs to hear something right now from your journey and from your experiences? Because I think it is super relatable, a lot of what you've shared. And I think you have a lot to share as well. So, is there anything that you would either an activity or an action or just a tip that you could share with everyone?
Yes, I guess one of my biggest tips, it would be get a morning routine and work on your mindset first thing in the morning. That has been so transformative to me. Now, the first thing I do when I wake up is practice gratitude about the business, like you taught me, Jess, and repeat affirmations, journal, and I also meditate first thing in the morning. And that just sets me up for success the whole day, that helps me truly believe that I'm capable, truly believe that what I'm going for is possible. Because if I didn't believe it was possible in the first place, I wouldn't take the necessary actions to actually make it happen. So, yeah, that would be my number one tip.
Love it. And I've definitely been there where I told myself I didn't have time for that kind of thing. And we both now know that it's the most important thing to do, even though it feels like sometimes a waste of time when you've got a million emails and you've got all of these things that you want to get done in the day. But if we don't start there, then the whole day is not as productive. It's not as expansive with our mindset, and we won't achieve as much as well. So it really is the foundations to everything. And it's a shame they don't teach it in schools or anything like that because it is really the foundation of everything.
So true. And I'm with you there. I used to think the same, especially when I first started the business, that I was too busy to fit in 30 minutes or an hour of a morning routine into my morning. wearing so many hats as an entrepreneur, it can seem like a waste of time, but it's actually what made me gain more time and gain more confidence and be able to take the necessary action. So it's actually an investment in yourself, because what I think sometimes is most people start businesses because they want to improve their lives, right? But if you do that and you sacrifice your own mental health or your own well-being, what is the point then of the business? So it's nice to just keep things into perspective and focus on why you started this business in the first place.
100%. Incredible. So thank you, Isabella, for sharing all of that. So what is next? Obviously, I'm continuing to be working with you, which I am so, so excited about, and watching you continue to grow, because what you've done in the past 12 months has just been incredible. But what is next?
Well, I guess next is I'm super excited to still be working with you too, and just growing and scaling the business. We already have a couple new collections in the works of sustainable activewear, and it would just be growing and scaling from now on and making it better. So I'm super excited for what's to come in 2022.
Amazing. And I just realized I didn't even do this on purpose, but I am currently wearing I'm currently wearing my Buespark set, which is so, so cute. So thank
Oh,
you for
yay!
that.
I'm so glad.
And it is so comfy, because I'm going to plan and do some Pilates later. So I thought I'll start my day and put it on so that I actually do some exercise later. But it is the most comfortable, high quality, sustainable activewear I've ever felt. So it's just such a beautiful product. You've grown so much yourself. And honestly, it's been an absolute pleasure and makes me so, so happy on everything that you're achieving and within yourself as well. So thank you for joining me today. And where can people find you? Where can people get their hands on some of your activewear? And by the way, she does ship to Australia. So if anyone in Australia is listening, you can get your hands on some as well.
So true. Thank you so much for your kind words. Means so much. We do ship very quickly to Australia, actually, because you helped me negotiate great rates with DHL. So that's awesome. So you can find us on Instagram at Buespark, is Buespark, on TikTok with the same handle, and at www.buespark.com.
Amazing. Well, thank you so much, Isabella. It's been an absolute pleasure to catch up with you, and hopefully we can connect in real life one day soon when we're allowed to travel again.
Definitely. I do hope to make it to Australia at some point. I would love to. It would be amazing. It's been an absolute pleasure too, Jess.
Thanks so much. Have a good day.
All right. Thank you so much. Have a great one. Bye.
What an inspiring story. I hope you loved that episode as much as I did. Isabella is just a ray of sunshine, and so much positivity comes from her. So make sure you go over, give her a follow, go and support her, because she is just like you, another incredible female entrepreneur doing incredible things. Thanks for tuning in. If you did enjoy this episode, make sure you screenshot it, share it to your social media, and tag myself and Isabella at Buespark as well. Until next time, I will see you next Thursday.